Hello, my name is Paige Baggett and I'm a meteorologist at the Nashville National Weather Service office. Today, we're going to be talking about the different types of precipitation. It's not just rain that can fall from a cloud. There are actually several types of precipitation, including snow, sleet, freezing rain, and hail. But first, how does precipitation form? Precipitation forms when the sun heats up liquid water on the Earth's surface. This causes liquid water to turn into water vapor in a process called evaporation. The water vapor is sent up into the atmosphere where it eventually cools and turns back into tiny liquid droplets in a process called condensation. These tiny droplets help to form clouds. Eventually, water particles in a cloud will become too heavy to remain in the air, and they will be pulled back to the ground by gravity. What type of precipitation we get, though, is typically determined by the temperature. The most common type of precipitation is rain, which is just liquid water falling from a cloud to the ground. Rain happens when the air between the cloud and the ground is above freezing, which means above 32 degrees Fahrenheit. As the water droplet falls through this warm layer of air, it is able to stay liquid water as it falls as a raindrop. Hail develops in a thunderstorm cloud, which is called a cumulonimbus cloud. In the upper levels of a cumulonimbus cloud, the temperature is cold enough to freeze water droplets into solid ice. But instead of falling to the ground, the upward motion within a thunderstorm, which is called an updraft, keeps the solid ice suspended up into the cloud where more frozen water droplets are added to it. Eventually, this hailstone will get too big and heavy and gravity will pull it out of the cloud and down towards the ground. Wintry precipitation happens because cold air is present. For snow to develop, temperatures within a cloud have to be very cold. If they are, then once water vapor condenses back into a water droplet, it freezes and then turns into an ice crystal. These ice crystals will stick together as they fall towards the ground and develop into what we call a snowflake. When the air between the cloud and the ground is consistently below freezing, then this snowflake stays a snowflake and will fall to the ground as snow. However, if the air between the ground and the cloud does not consistently stay below freezing, then sleet or freezing rain can occur. Sleet forms when snowflakes falling from a cloud towards the ground first pass through a layer of air that is above freezing. This causes the snowflake to partially melt. Then, these partially melted snowflakes fall through another layer of air that is below freezing, which causes them to refreeze into pellets of ice. Freezing rain develops in a similar way in that a snowflake falling from the ground to the cloud falls through a layer of warmer air, which causes the snowflake to melt. However, this time, there was only a very shallow layer of freezing air near the surface. The shallow layer doesn't give the raindrop enough time to refreeze into an ice pellet like sleet. Instead, once it makes contact with the surface, it freezes upon contact with the surface. There are lots of ways for you to get involved with learning more about precipitation. Check out our videos on how to make a cloud or how to make your own rain gauge. You can even use your own rain gauge to keep track of your own precipitation whenever it falls. We hope you enjoyed this educational video on the different types of precipitation. Thank you for joining us.